you're serious about becoming a much more profitable landlord, you're probably comparing TurboTenant and Baselane. But your biggest opportunity here isn't just picking one of them, it's knowing which one actually solves your worst headaches. After thoroughly managing real properties with both, I found one platform with a killer feature that changes everything for me, and another with a surprising gap. So which one is the real game changer? Let's dive into Baselane versus TurboTenant to see which one will win for you. Alright, let's get straight into the heart of this Baselane versus TurboTenant debate. The truth is, while they both help landlords, they're built for completely different goals and styles. They're meant for different people. It's not just about the features, it's about your entire approach to managing property. TurboTenant is like your full-time leasing agent and property manager all rolled into one. It's built for speed and simplicity from day one. The core of this platform is its powerful tenant acquisition toolkit, so we're talking about instant property listings that syndicate to dozens of sites, seamless online applications, and integrated credit and background checks, and more. It's designed for the hands-on landlord who needs to fill their vacancies quickly, to screen tenants reliably, and to get all the paperwork signed without any headaches. The focus is on taking the chaos out of the front-end process, finding and securing great tenants, and keeping them. But don't just take my word for it. When I dug into what other landlords are saying, the feedback was super consistent. One landlord on Reddit was looking for a pretty simple platform to handle payments and expenses for a two-family townhouse. Just a two-family townhouse landlord here. Another user jumped in and specifically recommended TurboTenant, calling it the only thing simple enough to handle payments and screening without turning it into a complicated nightmare. So yeah, that matches my experience. I had probably 3 or 4 properties I was managing, and getting a property rented really quickly and professionally, as I was able to just on one of the properties, Tenant removes a lot of the friction when it comes to just getting these tenants in safely and quickly. Here's another user review that echoes this sentiment. One landlord shared that TurboTenant makes both him and his tenants happy. He specifically loved that successful rent payments are reported to credit bureaus, which helps his tenants build their credit. The interface is easy to use with great workflows, and he uses the paid version for unlimited e-sign documents. He also highlighted how posting listings is really quick and easy, and that all of his tenants have come from the sites that TurboTenant automatically posts to. So yeah, you see, that's the real world result here. Like, if you can get tenants really that quickly, it's about getting your unit occupied with a qualified tenant as quick as possible. Now, Baselane, on the other hand, is a completely different beast. It has a lot of great features, and it's the undisputed king of, large landlord-focused finance. The strongest suit here, though, isn't finding tenants, but managing your money after the tenants are already in place and the income is already streaming. Baselane combines rent collection, expense tracking, full bookkeeping, and dedicated FDIC-insured bank accounts into one dashboard. It's fantastic for the landlord who wants everything all at once. They crave this financial clarity. They want the tax-ready reports at the click of a button, and, they're tired of juggling separate bank accounts and accounting software and managing everything all at once. So this does as much as possible. However, when it comes to the automated, wide-reaching tenant marketing and the all-in-one leasing workflow for tenants that TurboTenant offers, I don't think Baselane is really playing the same game here. It's more for established, larger organizations. A Baselane user review that I found perfectly captures its unique strength. The user here said that he was looking for a solution for his bookkeeping and his accounting and his rent collection all in one place, all at the same time. He said Baselane resolved all of his issues at once, and he called it very easy to use for both owners and tenants. So, if you're a landlord who spends more time stressing over bookkeeping, tracking cash flow, and preparing for tax season, Baselane is designed for you. But if you're a landlord whose biggest headache is marketing vacancies, sifting through applications, and getting a lease signed, then TurboTenant is your tool. It's built more for the casual or simpler landlord, and it's really getting your property producing income as quickly as possible, and then giving you all the tools to manage that. Alright, so now that we see the core differences in this Baselane versus TurboTenant face-off, let's now look at what you're actually paying for, the tools and the features themselves, because those are what define your daily workflow and how all this information and money is moving around. So I tested every major tool on real rental scenarios for both platforms, and the split became pretty clear. One platform is your growth engine, and it's meant for you, and the other is perhaps your finance department, and it might not be for the smaller, more independent landlord. So let's start with TurboTenant, which, as you can tell, is probably my preference at this point. If you believe that the lifeblood of this business is getting a great tenant locked in quickly and managing your relationship with them and making it really simple to interact with them and get money from them and have all the e-forms in place, then this platform is built for you. So the process starts dead simple. So just add your first property, takes a few minutes, and then you can immediately unlock the powerhouse feature, which is the marketing of the platform. And just with a single click, you can then shoot your listing out to Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, a dozen other sites. Like, you're not having to manually post anywhere. And this alone saves hours of work per vacancy. Prospective tenants can just apply online on their own time, and you get their full application, their credit report, which is a soft pull, and you get a background check all in one dashboard. And then, after all that, there's the lease creation. So after you choose, TurboTenant guides you through creating a state-specific lease with an intuitive lease profile builder. You can add tenants, you can include all of the rental details you need, and then you can send it over for e-signatures. And then, once they send it back, it's just all in one place. The entire process from vacancy to signed lease is pretty seamless. As one landlord put in a review, you can completely manage your property through this app. Lease, payments, messaging, maintenance requests, expense recording, everything. Once the tenant is in place, the tools also keep working for you. The tenant portal gives tenants a hub to pay rent, to see history, and to submit maintenance requests. And for you, as the landlord, the rent payments system obviously is where you get your money, super reliable. The documents tab keeps everything for the property in one place, the lease, invoices, notes, all one secure spot. And if you need any help, the access management feature lets you invite a co-owner or bookkeeper or assistant to help manage things, let alone the customer support, obviously. And I also have to mention the Landlord toolbox. So this is where TurboTenant really adds some extra value here. It connects you with vetted partners for landlord insurance through Steadily, maintenance coverage through Armadillo, and more. So these are additional tools that turns the platform from just this plain software platform into a resource hub for everything you need. A feature I also really love is the rent reporting to credit bureaus via Front Lobby. This is a huge perk to offer tenants. So in my deep dive into this tool, I came across this reviewer who highlighted this professionalism, saying that TurboTenant's app is the best out there, adding that the way that you can run credit reports are very professional, and he's glad he uses it. So yeah, that credit report thing, it really helps a lot of tenants because they might need to increase their credit report score, and just paying rent can help them do that. And it guarantees that you get paid as well, so really useful feature there. Okay, now let's talk about Baselane's features next. So this platform is completely different. It has a lot of similar features, a lot of great features, but it acts more as a financial command center for a wider array of things. So the standout feature here is Baselane Banking. You can open dedicated FDIC-insured checking accounts for each property that you own. Why does this matter? Because you get perfect bookkeeping for it. Income and expenses are automatically categorized because money flows in and out of designated accounts. You can collect rent into these accounts automatically, and then you can automatically waive the ACH fees, or you can link an external account. Because if you use their accounts, they waive the $2 ACH fee, I believe it is. But if you use your own external account, tenants, I believe, pay a $2 fee per deposit. But the bookkeeping is automatic. Every transaction is tracked and categorized. You don't need to do anything. So when tax season hits, you just hit download on the tax page. You get a net operating cash flow report and a full ledger. Massive time saver if taxes are where it all goes wrong for you. They also offer sophisticated tools like shared access for your team, and even investment property lines of credit and loans through partner companies. So this is for the landlord who sees themselves as a serious investor and is expanding and using a bunch of extra tools. Here's a long-term user who, in a review, raved that he's been using Baselane for over a year now and loves everything the platform offers. Everything from the ease of money transfers to the incredible bookkeeping capabilities. He promised himself to never use another bank ever. Now, I don't know if I would say that. It's all about the features and the security for me. So as long as the features of the program actually serves your needs, that's what matters, not the name of the company or the program itself. Here's another user who also praised Baselane for its ease of account setup for tenants. He highlighted that he loved being able to pay vendors via ACH as well, which is one of the main reasons that he switched from his previous rent collection service. But of course, no matter what these programs provide, no matter what they do for individual people, who they're for, neither of these platforms is going to be perfect, either for everyone in general or just because everything has flaws, right? So to make the best choice in the Baselane versus TurboTenant decision, you need to know the trade-offs. I've used both of them, and I've seen the feedback as well, so let's talk about the downsides to these programs. So, for TurboTenant, one piece of feedback that I saw mentioned that the payment process could potentially fail, and that relying on a single app for payments felt limiting. I think that's kind of like for everything. This is one comment I saw that I wanted to mention, but it is something to think about. In my testing, the payment system was very reliable, but I do get the concern of not having multiple integrated payment gateways. It's something to be aware of, but in practice, the system they use is robust, and tenant payments have worked smoothly for me. I did see a couple comments questioning how fast payments came in if they wanted to transfer, but again, not a huge issue for me. It's also worth noting that any issues like this are often one-off and can be resolved with support if you're worried about that. There's a couple other issues, but I thought this was the main one to mention. For Baselane, the downside is on the other end of the spectrum. So here's one landlord who stated that he kind of had a poor start. He mentioned that funds were stuck for 2 weeks, not being able to use them. They did say that they were eventually resolved to his satisfaction, so he was able to use that money. But 2 weeks it's not a great amount of time to wait for your money to get started, right? This points to a potential risk when you're banking and all of your money is deeply integrated into this one program. Getting started can sometimes involve more setup than just bank account linking and verifications. It's a more finance product heavy platform, so these processes do come with more regulatory friction initially. It's part of the trade-off for having these serious banking features. And then once you're past that setup, if it takes a week or shorter usually, it tends to run very smoothly. There are issues here and there that you'll notice, as with any platform, but they keep things updated, they have great customer service, and they're a professional large platform. Now, when it comes to the pricing of this Baselane versus TurboTenant comparison, both of them have models that reflect their individual focuses, and they have different price points. TurboTenant keeps it super accessible with a very strong free plan for basic management and listing, with premium upgrades for things like unlimited e-lease signings and premium listings and stuff like that. It's priced for the landlord who wants to get started without a big upfront cost. And hey, free is the method nowadays because Baselane also offers a free tier for its core bookkeeping. But again, that's just the core tools and the core value, right? It's real power here, the banking and the advanced features, it's in his paid plans. A lot of these programs give, moderate free tiers, but then the paid plans are really where it's at. So for Baselane, you're paying for a sophisticated financial toolkit, which is justified if you're really managing multiple properties as a business and you want everything all at once and you want, reviews and studies and, comments to back you up. And hey, my experience was pretty good as well. It's just that my preference is TurboTenant for my needs. But if you want to check either of them out, make sure to click those links in the description below for their latest pricing and any promotional deals going on. I will try to keep those updated so that you don't miss out on any available offers. So, after testing both of them hands-on, where does the Baselane versus TurboTenant battle leave us? Well, if your primary goal is, financial mastery, impeccable books, integrated banking, and tax-ready reports, then Baselane is a really powerful choice. You can't shoot that down. It's a really good option. But if your game-changing moment is, you're just starting and you're maybe trying to turn this vacant property into a revenue-producing asset faster and with less work and to keep things simpler and consolidated, then I think my vote, and probably the clear winner for the broadest range of landlords, is TurboTenant. Its ability to automate pretty much the entire tenant finding and onboarding process, as well as other parts of the process, is unparalleled. It solves the most active, time-consuming problem landlords face, and it does it well. So, to get started with TurboTenant or Baselane and to explore any current offers, check the links in the description in this video.